How's it going, everybody? My name's Christendo. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Super Mario RPG. Last time, after finalizing our little run-through of Rosetown, we ended at the inn. In the inn, we met the innkeeper, a mother, and her little boy named Gaz, a little fun kid, let's just say, who wanted us to play a little game with him with his toys while we were there for the night, and promptly kicked Mario so hard that he got knocked unconscious. Fun times. Kid doesn't know his own strength yet. But later that night, we noticed the doll he was playing with, that he called Gino, get possessed in a way by some magical spirit from the sky, grow 3 times in size, and then, upon stumbling on his feet, walked into the forest maze nearby. The next day, Gaz told us that we should probably follow him into the woods to see what he was up about, and today we're doing just that. Rather, last episode we were doing that, today we're gonna be finishing that. Wow, what a mouthful. We were here in the, I'd say about halfway point in the forest. We went through these first couple wiggler stump looking things, got a lot of the bios out of the way. I'll tell you, this time we're gonna be having a lot less bios, thank God. But today we're just gonna be finishing off the maze, starting with the rest of these logs. Ooh, and we can see that there's not much in here but a hidden treasure. I think it's over here somewhere. I swear I can never remember where these dang treasures are. There we go, there we go. Now, something interesting about this treasure. Pretty sure this treasure is a lie. It's not actually a treasure after all. I'm pretty sure that's like the only time in the entire game that they do that. And according to my notes list, this isn't a required treasure, but it's still here. So for the forest maze, just to peek behind the curtains a little bit, there are a grand total of 6 hidden treasures. Unless I'm counting wrong, I think that this is a mysterious 7th treasure box, hidden box, whatever. But we don't get anything for it, so just a little, I guess, goof and gaff on the developer's part. Keep going down here. Now while we're running around and doing all this, there is a little bit of trivia that I can go over with the forest maze. There's just enemies in here, nothing to worry about. Since we already got all the bios, no reason to go through and fight. But the trivia with the forest maze is that it was not originally going to be called, crap. As I was saying, the forest maze was not originally going to be called the forest maze. And there's actually a couple different names that were in development. I'm gonna stand still real quick so I don't get ambushed by enemies, but also so I can read my notes. The forest maze was originally going to be called the Forest of Delusion. And we know that this was a considered name because we can see in a UK exclusive magazine called Nintendo Magazine System. It was issue 41, page 84. I think I have a photo of this as proof. But in that issue, on that page, we can see a screenshot of early development photos of Mario RPG, and I don't know if it was a title card or a map screenshot, but we can see Forest of Delusion was a name that was in development. The name Maze Woods was also tossed around before eventually being saved for Wario Land 2, I believe. All those names I think are pretty cool, but I don't know, Forest Maze is just so iconic now with Mario RPG that it'd be weird to have it called anything else. But with that little piece of trivia out of the way, we've gone through and we've gotten all the hidden boxes from all the stumps here. There should have been, I think, 3 in total? And now we're gonna go down this final one. Yes, in here there's going to be another hidden block, and I never remember where these darn things are. Ah, okay, it was behind him. Ooh, a Coca-Cola. Got a feeling we might be using that in an upcoming battle. So this Wiggler is not an enemy. This actually is the way that we need to progress, so you're gonna jump on him. And to the eagle-eyed person, you'll notice a path opened up behind him. Let's take that path, shall we? Now, there's really not much else to go on here. I mean, like, we've kind of seen everything there is to see here, fought all the enemies that there is to fight here, so this little pathway we can pretty much just skip on through. Nope, you're not a free mushroom. One thing I will make note of is use up your Toad Assist before you get to the, I'll say, area boss. You're not gonna have access to Toad Assist much longer. I'm not gonna give away why, but I'm just going to say Toad Assist will, well, your whole meter, let's just say, is not going to come in handy in the future boss. So use it up, don't feel like you gotta save it. We have now entered the official forest maze portion of the forest maze. Kind of like in, well, it's funny because I think the game actually I was about to reference came out after this, but the Lost Woods, Ocarina of Time, how if you don't pick the right path, you kind of wind up right back at the start. Similar thing here, maybe that was actually a reference to Mario RPG for all we know. But here is a secret that lies within these woods, and a secret that is only revealed to us if we let that one toad in Rosetown back into his house. Doing so will lock us out of the best possible outcome. Probably next episode, we're gonna be going over all the reward outcomes for this quest line and how you would go through all of them. But for now, we're just gonna do a touch of sequence breaking. You could possibly know all of this if you've replayed the game and you already know the proper routing. But we wanna get the best outcome that we can, so we're gonna be taking the secret path right now. The proper route for the forest maze to get to the mandatory area, you're just going to be following Gino. As a matter of fact, when Gaz says to follow Gino through the forest maze, that should have been your biggest hint that, oh, we actually see Gino here, we should probably follow him. So I don't know why this place is famous for being a place that players get lost in. But okay, it's a children's game, why not? For right now, we're going to ignore Gino, and we're going to be taking the pathway. Now, keep in mind, this is relative to Mario's positioning when he enters an area. So first, we're gonna wanna go left. And then keep in mind Mario's positioning. We're gonna go left again. And this one's easy, we're gonna go straight across. Try not to get into an enemy, okay. And then finally, we're gonna go right, again from Mario's positioning. We see a stump here. This leads us to the treasure room. What is in these treasure boxes will change depending on the events that you do. For us, we're gonna get the best reward. 1, 2, 3 flowers. On top of that, we get a frog coin and a full heal. I kinda wish that this was another flower or maybe another frog coin, or hell, even like a honey syrup or a Coca-Cola or something, but 3 extra flower points and a frog coin is nothing to scoff at. Now that we've done that, we have locked ourselves into potentially the best outcome for the quest ahead. We do want to get back on track to find Gino. If you get lost in the maze, it will just spit you right back out to the beginning, much like I said with the Lost Woods analogy, so I'll see you guys back at the entrance. And as I said before, we're gonna just follow Gino. Now, I understand players getting lost if, let's say, they see Gino, get into a battle with an enemy, and then forgot which direction Gino was going. But to save some time, I'm just gonna say the entire pathway from the beginning to end takes place on the right side of the screen. So if you honestly forgot, it's a 50-50 shot. Is he going top right or bottom right? And try not to get into a battle. Okay, wow. You can see top right again. Now, the reason I'm not farming enemies is because it really isn't beneficial for us like it would be in, let's say, Final Fantasy, because we're only getting 1 experience point, 2 experience points per battle at this point. Like, we're grossly overleveled for really what we should be doing. Like, yeah, let's look here. 3 experience points, look how much we need. We would be here all day just to try to get 1 measly level. Okay, and I think that this is... Yes, that's it. And this should also be our final hidden block. There we go. Ooh, a red essence. I wanna go over that right now. So the red essence item, become invincible for 3 turns during battle. Now that might sound okay right now, but there are battles where that becomes far more useful going forward. 997, 998, 999, 1,000. 1,000 arrows. Now I have a small theory that might be a reference to Final Fantasy. I wanna say it originated in Final Fantasy 5, maybe 6, to the move 1,000 Needles. But it could also just be a coincidence, I don't know. For cover they run, yeah. Fun this is, yes. Yeah. Another 1,000 I will shoot. Mario, who is that guy? He must be the one shooting arrows at Rosetown. Happy I am, yeah. Look at their expressions when freeze they do. Woohoo! They're standing like statues. Yeah, more practice do I need. Oh no, he's not stopping. We gotta do something. Well, who do you think you are? You can't just go in there with your fist flying. Okay, I wanna put the pause right here. This is actually a pretty important line to fans of the original game, and they changed it. When Mallow in the original stopped Mario from attacking, he says, as we can see here, who do you think you are? You can't just go in there with your fist flying. This is a funny line, but it was one of the few changes made from the original NES version script. In the original, he says, who do you think you are? Bruce Lee. You can't just go in there with your fist flying. I have a theory that this was changed because Nintendo in recent years have been trying to cut all, I guess, like real world references from their games because they used to be a lot more lenient back in the day, but it also could have possibly just been a legal issue. I don't know how saying somebody's name is a legal issue, but look, I don't know. All I know is that when I first read this after playing Mario RPG the remake, I was shocked. I was like, it's like one of the most famous lines from the game. Anyways, yeah, too many of them. We'll be creamed. I want to be creamed. Oh no, someone's coming. Let's hide and see if we can learn anything. Look what I found, Booyah. What? Disturb me you must not. Practicing I am. More arrows must I shoot. More statues must I make, yeah? Stop. Hold it right there. You don't know what you're doing. Return that star to me. Yeah. A stranger you are, and strange looking at that. Pot calling the kettle weird now, aren't you, Bowyer? Teach you we must who's in charge. Who might you be, yeah? I serve a higher authority, the Christian Church. That star piece belongs to everyone. You can't keep it. Yeah, angry I am. Yeah. A lesson I will teach you. Hey, chill out. Mario, it's dangerous out there. You gonna help, huh? Whack that weirdo, save the guy in blue? Me too. I'll do what I can. But from over here. Hey Mario, isn't it weird that we were like 5 feet from them a minute ago and now all of a sudden there's this giant runway in front of us? Kinda makes you think like we're in a video game and stuff doesn't matter. Oh gosh! That's it, that's enough, stop it! Yeah, yeah! Thanks for the help. But who are you? Mario, you just ditched me back there. Huh? Don't I know you? You look familiar. So you're the Mario. We know all about you. Knock knock, nah. Insulted I am. Okay, I just want to apologize real quick. If there was a moment of silence during that boss fight, I noticed that my recording software for my audio was glitching out a little bit, so I might have had to have cut a couple lines there that Bowyer said, but that's fine. Anyways, lot to go over with this battle right here. First, introducing Bowyer. Bowyer is the next star-holding boss of the game, and he is, well, he's a jack of all trades. If we look at his stat spread here, it's pretty even all around. He gets access to a few lightning-based moves, a new lightning-based move that's multi-targeting and static electricity, and he gets a move called Goodnight, which inflicts sleep. I don't know what it is with bosses and sleep moves, but whatever. Overall, he's not terrifying, but there's one more thing we'll be getting into here fairly soon with him. The next thing we're gonna go over is our main man, Gino, here. It says question mark, question mark, question mark, but we literally saw Gaz call him Gino, so we're gonna call him Gino. Gino is one of the best characters in the game, hands down. I would personally call Gino a red mage. Great stats both physically and magically. Stat-wise, he's even better in more aspects than that, actually. But this has its reasons, so we'll just simplify it. Gino has the highest attack and magic attack at max level with no other stats or weapons or armor or anything equipped, hands down, even better than Mallow, at least for the base game. He also gets access to a wide variety of very hard-hitting, neutral special moves. That's very crucial, which means that unless the enemy has high magic attack, he can't be resisted. That's really good. If an enemy is resistant to fire or jump, that already cuts half of Mario's special attacks right out of the loop. He also has the highest speed stat in the game of all our heroes, and a defensive stat that is comparable to, well, I'll just say some of our tankier players as well. Gino, hands down, is one of the best party members you can have on your team, and you almost never should take him off of it. The only downsides that I can possibly think of is that he will never be able to do elemental weaknesses against enemies, and some of his moves are a little bit expensive and kind of redundant come late game, but we'll get more into that come late game. Right now, he's incredible. First, I want to show off just how his physical attack stat holds up to Mario's. We'll see 27 there. I didn't do the timed hit, so we're gonna do that with Mario as well. 24, pretty comparable. Comparing that to Mallow, 19, much lower. Now we're gonna be getting into Bowyer's real gimmick of this fight. Not fair, fix it I will, yeah. Shoot an arrow I shall. When a targeted hits that button, locked. Also locked our toad assist, yeah. A fair fight just between us, yeah. Obey my own rule I will, so no complaints, yeah. So right here is the main gimmick. He hasn't done anything with it yet, so we're gonna keep comparing Gino with the rest of our team. So we're gonna start with Gino Beam. You're gonna hold to charge the spell, and then when all 5 stars are maxed out, you're gonna let go. 60 damage. Let's compare that to Mario's... let's compare it to Mario's jump. That should be comparable. Pretty high damage. Now, jump is a lower FP move. It would have been probably good to compare it to something like Super Flame, or no, Super Jump, sorry. But still, like, we can see Geno is no slouch in either aspect. Right now, because there's only the single target for Mallow, we're just gonna have Mallow stick with, well, first we're gonna do Thought Peek. We're gonna have Mallow stick with basic attacks, just chipping away. Maybe we'll put him on item duty. Mario should be hitting purely physical. And Geno, what I really like about this fight is they gave you your pseudo red mage character. Good both physically, magically, he's quick, and he doesn't go down in a single hit like a pure mage would. And he's introduced in a fight where you need to constantly swap between magic and attack. As we'll see right here. So this is the gimmick. As he said, whenever an arrow hits, the button is locked. So now we have to swap over to Geno Beam. Now, everybody loves Geno. We've been trying to get him in Smash for God knows how many years. I personally have a small gripe with Geno. I have a small gripe with a lot of things with the way that this game is designed, but it was an early RPG, so I will understand that. But I think that the design of certain characters could have been way better. When we finally get the rest of our team, I'm sure this will be the crux of an entire episode, but I think Geno being the red mage is really cool. I personally think Mario should have been the all-out physical attacker, having maybe second place in magic attack compared to Mallow. Geno, I think, should be comparable to like Mario's magic attack, still underneath Mallow rather, but higher than others that we'll be getting that are nowhere near magically focused. Physically, I also think Geno should be under Mario, but more than like Mallow. You know, like, I don't know. Him being the best in so many aspects makes him very overpowered, and it makes other characters weaker. So either buff other characters, or I think Geno should have been middle of the road at everything, but not bad at anything. You know what I mean? Make him hit a little bit weaker, but he's the fastest character in the game. He can spam items really, really quickly. He's pretty defensive, so he doesn't go down as quickly as Mallow, but Mallow can dish out those elemental spells way more effectively. I don't know. Like I said, this is, I have a chip on my shoulder about this whole thing, but now's not the time to get into it. Since Mallow can't do his basic attack, and his Thunderbolt really isn't gonna do much, I'd say this is the perfect time to use a Tadpole Cola. So I think I might have gotten that wrong on the... Oh wait, no, I didn't even say that. So Static Electricity, it's one of the new moves that we saw for Bowyer. It is not blockable. One thing I like about the remake of this game is that when a spell is unblockable, it will flat out tell you unblockable in the top right. That's very, very handy. This fight's pretty easy though. My biggest recommendation is, crap, I messed up. My biggest recommendation is pack healing items, especially honey syrups, because if you get locked with no FP and you're not allowed to use your attack, you're pretty screwed. Let's try Super Jump. Oh my God! Oh boy, I locked in there. Holy crap. Yeah, I will say Geno's biggest weakness, if he has a weakness, is that he has a lower magic defense stat. So he did take a little bit more of a blow from that Static Electricity. So we're gonna have Geno give him a mushroom, because we had so many freebies in the forest. Speaking of a freebie. Okay, there we go. Now we can start wailing on him physically again. And that's not good. We'll have Mario do this, and I'll use up one of my cleansing juices. Possibly one of the few and only times in the game I actually found myself. Don't you dare. Okay, he can go to sleep, that's fine. He's not our good attacker. And right back to the special. It's really good for us when he locks the item because, well, healing doesn't really matter. You know, we have Mallow for that. And we can access either special to heal, like I said for Mallow, or attacks to do damage based on if you have FP or not. So really, if he does that, that's your best bet. Now, there's a little bit of trivia with this fight that I want to mention. As we can see, we have the 3 buttons in front of us, and those are resembling the buttons on your controller. More so, those are resembling the buttons on your old SNES controller in the original game. Now, there is a key difference in the original game depending on the American or the Japanese version. As many of us know, the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo was called the Super Famicom. The buttons for a Super Nintendo controller are light purple and dark purple. Those were reflected in game as all purple buttons. In the Famicom, or I should say on the Famicom, the buttons were multicolored. Red, yellow, blue, and green. Obviously, there's no yellow button here because I'm pretty sure that was the B button. But as we can see in the original SNES version of the game, the buttons resembled the buttons that we see here now. So the buttons in the original, American and Japanese, were different colors. For the remake, because it wouldn't make sense for them to all be purple, they decided to bring the more colorful and more easily identifiable ones from the Japanese version and the Famicom controller over to the Switch remake. Little fun fact. I also like it too because them being all purple is like kind of boring to look at, but having them be different colors makes them also just a little more visually stimulating and easier to identify. So that's nice. Okay, we have, let's see if I can make this super jump count and we can take him out. Dang, oh, 102 is still good. Oh! Mallow might be going down here, but, oh, no, I can't do anything. Okay, we're gonna use a honey syrup. And we'll do this again. Okay, thank God. That is the fight done and over with. Yeah, the end of my rope I am, yeah. The end it may well be. Lock all the buttons I simply must. Now this is a completely different strategy from what he did in the original, because in the original you just flat out killed him. But in the remake, well, we have a new feature that they gotta show off. What are we gonna do? He won't just let us use a single move. Listen everybody, we've proven that we're quite the team. Let's join forces, all 3 of us at once, and take him down. Say what, yeah? If dirty tricks you'll use, the same stunt I'll pull, yeah? Oh no, yeah, no allies do I have to join forces with, yeah? You can now use triple moves. These powerful moves are available when your gauge is at 100%. Just this once will fill the gauge for free. This is why I said to use your Toad Assist. From this battle on, Toad Assist is no longer an option for us. But, depending on your party makeup, you will get a new triple move. For us, Mario, Mallow, and Geno, we get Star Riders. The power of the star pieces delivers a powerful strike against a single enemy. Let's show that off. Thanks for the help. You really got me out of a jam. Why are you staring at me? You know I'm more than just a doll, don't you? Have you guessed the truth? I'm a visitor from above, and this is a form I'm borrowing, briefly. You mean like from the sky or something? Higher than that, I'm afraid. Do you two know anything about the Star Road? Completely in the dark, eh? Well, it's a big mess up there right now, and it concerns you too. Let me explain. You've heard of wishing upon a shooting star. At the Star Road, your wish is transformed into a star. When it's granted, it then turns into a shooting star and falls down to Earth. So you see, the Star Road plays an integral role in granting wishes. But, ever since a sword destroyed the Star Road, everything's come to a halt. No stars have been made since. The way things stand, yours is a world where wishes can't come true anymore. Are you saying this star is part of your, the Starway? That's Star Road, my fluffy little friend. Yes, that star is a broken piece of the Star Road. I'm here to find them all and repair the Star Road. The broken star pieces, there are 7 altogether. For peace to return, we must get rid of Smithy, find the star pieces, and repair the Star Road. But that's hard to pronounce, so call me Gino after the doll. I chose him because he looks the strongest out of all the dolls, and it'd be weird to have 2 Marios running around now, wouldn't it? Now grab the star, Mario. Come on, let's get this show on the road. Gino, who is searching for the star pieces of the Star Road, joins Mario and Mallow. Things are definitely looking up.
Whoa, I heard everything. Who would have known that star was so important? I gotta inform Smithy.
The secret to the shooting stars has been unraveled. Find the star pieces and bring peace back to Mario's world. Oh yeah. And that's everything there is to do in the forest. I say that we go and see the results of our work here. Upon teleporting back to Rose Town, we can see no more arrows, means the place is a lot more lively. And the sun finally came out, oh my gosh. Well, this episode's running a little bit long, so we're gonna call it an episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.